Hi Aries, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your February 2021 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, just check out the description of the video for more details there. As far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic cross spread as always. And I pulled an Oracle card and a Mudra card for you guys, but we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice that you see there. And that's going to give us an idea of where your areas of focus should be as far as that goes. All right, so we'll get started with that first. Okay, so we have Cancer energy, that's your 4th house. Neptune energy, which Neptune is in Pisces, which is your 12th house. And we have 4. So this is actually the 4th house. So again, we see Cancer energy. So definitely some significance there. Maybe some of you could be dealing with the Cancer, something along those lines. But we'll keep those in mind as we go along. Oop, there we go. All right. So getting started with the main spread. We have the Empress. So as you can see, there's the Venus symbol on the card here, and usually since this just has a really earthy vibe, I tend to think more of Taurus energy when I see this, but of course Libra, your opposite sign, is also ruled by Venus. So for some of you, could just be saying maybe there's a focus on finances for some of you, or obviously it could be around relationships as well. But really, I could see this saying that you guys have a bit of a softer approach to yourselves this month. You know, you might be coming across a bit more open and receptive than usual. Maybe this is even just you guys finally being able to exhale after having Mars in your sign for so long, now that it's finally moved into Taurus. So that could be part of what's changing the energy in that regard too. But yeah, it looks like you guys are just a little bit more open and receptive than you might normally be, you know, maybe letting your guard down a little bit more. But at the same time, I don't necessarily see you guys taking action toward anything. I feel like you're more in the energy of letting things come to you. All right, in the challenger obstacle position, we have the Lovers, which is Gemini energy, and the 6 of Cups, which is Scorpio energy. So for some of you, this could definitely be pointing to a relationship dynamic where, you know, maybe you guys want to reconnect with someone from your past, given that we do see the 6 of Cups energy there, but it could just be saying that the challenge to that is that you might not be taking any action toward it, and then it would stand to reason that, given that these are in the challenge position, the other person's probably coming from that same perspective, you know, so one of those things, which happens more often than we would think, right, where both people want to reconnect, but neither one wants to be the first to make that move. So that could be a situation that you guys are dealing with right now. And for some of you, this could also just be saying that maybe you guys are feeling really nostalgic lately. So, you know, doesn't even necessarily have to be around romantic connections or anything like that, but you could just be thinking about your past a lot. Yeah, that's pretty much all I see there. All right, in the foundation position, we have the 7 of Swords, which is Aquarius energy, King of Cups, which is Scorpio energy, 8 of Wands, which is Sagittarius energy, and King of Swords, which is more Aquarius energy. So, interesting mixture of energies here. Really what I'm seeing with this is, the first thing that comes to mind with this is I feel like you might have saw someone being, or at least you perceive them as being deceptive in your environment. So it could have been around, like I said, a romantic relationship, maybe even a friendship, given that for you guys, Aquarius is your 11th house of friendships and groups that you deal with. But I feel like you might not have said anything about it. You know, you might have just felt like it. And then really, for some of you, might have actually let that person have it. So, you know, as opposed to even just addressing it with them like, hey, is this really what's going on? You might have just kind of went off on this person. It's kind of what I'm picking up on there. And then just totally cut ties and detached from the situation, you know. So one of those things where, all right, just a super generic example, let's say you saw someone doing something that you know, weren't a fan of, and then you just might have went off on them and then blocked them right afterwards, you know what I mean? So you might have gave them a piece of your mind, but then just blocked them before they could even reply. So obviously that's not going to be the case for all of you, but I just wanted to give you a generic example of how those energies could be playing out. And for some of you, this could just be saying that you might have been holding yourselves back around something, so more of a self-deception where you might have, had some feelings around a certain situation with that King of Cups energy, but rather than actually communicating around them, you might have just decided to completely detach from the situation. What stands out to me, though, is that we do see the King of Cups and the King of Swords, so those are both fixed energies. So could just be saying that you were really set in your ways in that regard, and now that we see the Empress energy, you might be coming out of that, but that could have been what caused this whole situation. All right, in the past position, we have the Five of Pentacles. So, looking at those energies in foundation, it would make sense that, this could have been what happened in the past, right? Where you guys might have been, either you cut someone off or someone cut you off, but it definitely looks like there was a detachment there. You guys might have been going through a tough time together and just decided you couldn't deal with it anymore. This could have been some tough times for you guys financially as well, though. I do have to say that, and if that's the case, then seeing the Empress in the main situation position is definitely a positive because it shows that you guys have probably been working your way out of that. All right, in the present position, oh, I forgot one. There we go. We have the Death card, which is Scorpio energy, the Five of Wands, which is Leo energy, and the Eight of Swords, which is Gemini energy. So if this was a situation where there might have been some conflict, what I will say is that with the Death card showing up here, along with the Five of Wands, this makes me think that maybe by the Leo full moon, so at the time of recording this, we haven't had that Leo full moon yet, but for those of you who watched this in February, you would have just gone through it. But this could just be pointing to the Leo full moon as a time when you might finally be ready to kind of bury the hatchet, right? But at the same time, not being ready or knowing how to approach the situation. So like I said, to go back to that super generic example again, maybe you saw someone doing something you didn't like and you just completely let them have it and didn't let them explain their side of the story. This could just be saying that, now you're kind of finally ready to let that conflict go. But at the same time, you're just not sure how to move forward from here. That's one way I could see it playing out. But yeah, primarily that's how I'm reading this, that this is an end to a conflict that might have been going on for a bit, but at the same time, just, okay, where to from here, right? In the near future position, we have the King of Wands. So this is Leo energy technically, but it could definitely represent your energy as well, given that you're also a fire sign. But what stands out to me is now this is the third fixed king that we see. So a lot of fixed energy there, which is to me pointing to at least you're in your element now, right? So we had the King of Cups and the King of Swords in the foundation, but now we actually see at least the King of Wands. So it could just be saying you're still a little bit dug in, but at least you're more in your element. So you're probably going to be more able to comfortably, navigate the energies. And again, especially since I'm recording this before the Leo full moon, even though this is in the near future position for February reading, I feel like this could definitely be pointing to some significance around that Leo full moon. So for those of you who watched this early, definitely keep an eye out for that. You could see a shift in the energy. That might be when you start to see things from a different perspective, and maybe that does help you soften your energy a little bit. And that could be where we're seeing that Empress energy. Not to mention the fact that we do have the moon at the bottom of the deck too. So to me, that usually points to wanting to pay attention to the lunar cycles. So the Leo full moon before we get to February, the Aquarius new moon that we'll have in February, and then the Virgo full moon. So could definitely be around friendships with some of you too, given that it's a new moon in Aquarius. And then of course we had the fourth house and Cancer energy come up with the dice too, so there could definitely be some significance around the moon for you guys this month. Speaking of Cancer energy, in the position of your influence in a situation, we have the Two of Cups. So this usually represents a meeting of the minds. Now, more often than not, this will point to a new connection as opposed to an older connection. But I will say, so for some of you, it could even be maybe where you guys, if this is a new connection that you're getting into, maybe you're looking at your old patterns. So as opposed to ending a conflict with a specific person, maybe it's more representative of you guys looking at a pattern you might have had where, you might have acted very impulsively in connections, and now you're kind of letting that go and approaching things from a different perspective with that Empress energy in the main situation. So that could be, and maybe that's even what the Lovers and Six of Cups energy was saying in the challenge position too, that the challenge is for you guys to just be, take a more light and playful approach to that area of your lives, and then that could help attract the things that you want to you. So you might have just still had your guard up from a previous situation that might have gone badly, but then that might have been blocking out people who are really on the same wavelength as you, basically. So could just be saying that you guys are coming out of that energy. Trying to think if anything else comes to mind with this. But yeah, I mean, like I said, for some of you, it could definitely be you guys reconnecting with someone, but it could totally be a new connection as well. Either way, the good thing is in the environment position, we see the Four of Wands. So, I mean, these two cards would definitely show me that the two of you are on the same page, whatever type of connection this is, whether it's a friendship, like I said, a romantic connection, maybe even a family situation that you're, getting back on track, because of course Cancer and fourth house could definitely point to family situations as well. Whatever the case may be, looks like there's definitely supportive energy here where both parties seem to be on the same page and ready to, actually move forward in a much more positive way. This is actually Aries energy here too. So definitely looks like they have you on their mind. And if you're dealing with the Cancer, certainly, right, we could see if you're showing up in their focus, they're showing up in your focus, then it looks like things definitely will progress in a more positive way this time around. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. So I'm going to assume that these are hope, and it could just be saying that, you guys are actually hoping to. What always stands out to me with the Page of Pentacles is how that pentacle is just out of his reach, right? We could see it's kind of sort of in his hands, but not fully. And then obviously with the Knight of Pentacles, we could see it's definitely in his possession. So it could just be saying, you're hoping for, maybe you get to a certain level when it comes to relationships, again, whether it's friendships, romantic, or even family connections, but you don't quite get fully there with that stability. So it could just be saying that you're actually hoping to take that next step to where you do have something more stable, more reliable in those types of situations. And again, if it's a financial thing too, I will say, like we were saying, if that Five of Pentacles pointed to more financial difficulties for you guys, given that we see the Empress in the main situation position, and the progression here from the Page to the Knight, definitely looks like there could be some improvement around that as well. And in the outcome position, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So this is actually Virgo energy, represents the first 10 degrees of Virgo, and that's actually where the Virgo full moon toward the very end of February is going to be. So could just be pointing again, especially with the moon and all of the Cancer energy we see here, to say that maybe around the time of that Virgo full moon is when you finally see that forward progress and actually being able to work on the situation. So again, it could be a connection for some of you, like I said. I mean, by then the Mercury retrograde would technically be over, but at the same time, you'll still have that shadow energy around. So it could just be saying that, you might be able to repair the connection around that time, or actually to see the forward progress moving at that time. And again, for some of you, if this is around finances too, looks like that situation will improve for you guys. So pretty positive reading overall. We'll move on to the Oracle card next. You guys got Flexible. There's the artwork, and the number is 19. Now, this card, when I was shuffling, it kind of came out sideways, so I'll read the protection message for it as well, because usually the protection message you only read if it comes out upside down, but I'm like, well, it probably came out sideways for a reason, so we'll read all of the messages for this one. So, essential meanings, it says teachability, open-mindedness, being adaptable without compromising what's most important. So I will have to say, this is making me think of that Empress energy there, like we were talking about. You guys are naturally the Emperor when it comes to the major arcana, and with the Empress we see a bit more openness and flexibility. All right, the Oracle's message says a tree's roots are solidly planted in the ground, yet its branches can bend in a hurricane, whereas a rigid structure, like a building, would come crashing down. Consider how the tree remains supple and secure when everything around it may be in shambles. This is how you need to be now. willing to learn new things, teachable, malleable, yet firmly grounded in who you are. Common sense is important, but so is an open mind. Stay curious, stay open, stay aware. At this time, others will be more flexible with you too. So definitely a pretty positive message there, and that makes me think of the energies that we were talking about in the foundation of the reading, especially, but hopefully it resonated. The relationship message says, in every relationship, it's important to be open to new experiences and learning new things. Letting go of rigidity is what's required right now. You don't always have to be right all the time, do you? It's okay to come to a happy compromise. You can still get your needs met. It's a beautiful day when you meet halfway. The appearance of this card in a reading could also signal that you have met someone new who may not be your type, but who will turn out to be so special that you can easily release your old ideas about what sort of partner is right for you. Be flexible. You'll be happy you made that choice. So definitely an interesting message there. And then especially where I was saying for some of you, I could see this as a reconnection, but also for some of you, it could be a new connection as well. So hopefully that resonated. And the prosperity message says, even when you have a clear vision of how you're going to manifest something, what it will look like, who will share in it, and what will then be available to you, you still need to relax and open up to other possibilities. Spirit may have much better plans for you. It could be a job you hadn't thought of, a new source of money, or some other opportunity that eluded your imagination. Be flexible and remind yourself, this or something better manifests for me now. Then be willing to bend a little. Enjoy the miraculous results. So I do have to say I didn't get much of a financial feel with this reading. I mean, we did mention it briefly with the Five of Pentacles and more of the Pentacle energy we see there, but for those of you who are looking for more of a financial reading, hopefully that resonated with you as well. And then lastly, like I said, we'll read the protection message. And it says, when you or someone else becomes too rigid, you lose access to the growth and untapped potential and find yourself in an us versus them scenario. Loosen up, open your mind and heart, and see if a more flexible approach feels better. Rigidity will set you up for a fight where there are only losers and no winners. Could you find a way to bring about a result that is mutually beneficial? Meet in the middle. Spirit makes a great mediator. So definitely does sound like good advice there for those of you where maybe if you are trying to reconnect with someone from the past, and if things have already gone off the rails, sometimes the Mercury retrogrades, which we'll be experiencing in February, can be good for getting those things back on track, but hopefully that resonated with you as well. And then finally we have a Mudra card. So the Mudra you guys got for this month is right here. It's the Kilaka Mudra. The keyword for it is union. And there's the info on it there if you want to pause it or take a screenshot. But under benefits, it says tonifies the water element in the body, improves the function of the kidneys, bladder, and sexual glands, fosters a sense of emotional safety and comfort around intimacy and sexuality. Can also be used as a devotional gesture to express or evoke the union of masculine, Shiva, and feminine, Shakti. So, hopefully, well, if you think that would be beneficial for you guys, I will actually put the name of that Mudra in the description video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.